G'day, I'm Alex. I'm an electrical engineer at Essential Energy here in Port Macquarie.
Okay, and what does that title actually mean?
It means I help design, plan and maintain the electrical network that provides power to homes and businesses across most of New South Wales.
Wow, so what was the pathway?
It's normally a 4-year degree of electrical engineering at uni. Myself, I did it in 5 years, doubling with a science degree.
Okay, and what does an average day look like for you?
It varies a fair bit. Some days can be at the desk doing computer work or collaborating with teammates online, helping design engineering safety systems. And then days like today, a bit more field-based, doing some testing and commissioning. And that's a real crucial part of the engineering process as we can validate the performance of engineering systems in the real world environment.
Can you take us along?
We're just going to wait for my colleague Luke and then we'll head out to site.
Sounds good.
Morning mate. Let's hit the road.
So where are we?
We're just outside the zone substation and finished completing our safety risk assessment, so we're all set to head inside.
Okay, and what is a safety risk assessment?
It's a process that we go through to make sure that we've addressed any potential hazards and risks that could harm us or others, and then we address those with controls suitably so that we can be safe while we work.
So what is a zone substation?
A zone substation is a site like this one that takes power from sub-transmission lines and steps them down through transformers like this to distribution voltages.
Okay, and what are you testing?
So with this equipment here, what we're testing is the earth grid, and now that's made up of bare copper conductors laid underground, and that provides a low impedance path for fault current and also maintains the potentials around the yard at a nice, stable and acceptable limit.
So what will you do with all these readings that you're taking?
So with all the measurements that we're taking, we're going to analyse these back at the desk later on.
And how are the results looking?
It's not as simple as just a pass-fail for each measurement in isolation. There's a fair bit of complex analysis that has to take place to put it in the context of the rest of the system.
Okay, so where are we off to next?
Next, we're going to be heading to the QA lab, or Nexus, where we're going to be looking at some of the customer energy resources, so behind the meter technology that customers fed from this zone substation are putting on their premises. This is the Nexus lab. It's a test facility that we've designed and built here at Essential Energy that enables us to model and simulate home environments. So we have things like smart appliances, washing machines, dryers, pool pumps, hot water systems, and it enables us to test them and see how they perform. We also have a bunch of generation devices, so solar inverters, that enable us to have a look at behind the meter generation and things that customers actually have in their premises. So these kind of solar inverters, if they've got solar panels on the roof, these are the kind of devices that they have, and we can simulate communicating with those devices to be able to control generation. We're going to head back to the office and have a look at some of the test results from this morning. Come on, let's go. G'day, we're just at Port Macquarie corporate office now, and I'm at the desk having a look at some of the results from the earth grid that we tested this morning.
Okay, so what are we actually looking at here?
So we're modelling the performance of the grid and simulating it under fault conditions to have a look at what the potentials across the surface are, and we can assess the safety criteria for the site.
Okay, and then what are the next steps for this analysis?
So from here, I'll want to work with some other stakeholders across the business. So I'll talk with our planning and zone substation engineering teams to investigate if there's any transformer upgrades at this site or further upstream which might affect the available fault level. I'll also want to investigate possibly looking at changing some of the fault clearing times by adjusting the protection settings, and talk with our zone substation design team to see if there's any changes that can be made to the physical layout of the site. From there, we'll assess the performance against all of the relevant safety criteria from industry guidelines and Australian standards.
What's your favourite part about your job?
For me, I'd have to say it's the diversity, and not only the types of work that I get to do, but also the operating environments that we function in as a business, from everything from the snowy mountains down to coastal communities, industrial precincts and outback communities as well. And as an electrical engineer, I get to help provide a valuable resource to those communities and that enables them to thrive.
Yeah, nice. And lastly, just before we leave you, do you have any advice for someone who's interested in this career?
Sure. So Essential Energy offers internships, and we also have an excellent graduate program which allows people to move around the business and get a broad cross-section of the different types of engineering work that's offered in this business.
Okay, well thank you so much for showing us around. We'll leave you to it.
Thanks.
Bye.